When the final whistle echoed around Anfield, Manchester United's players sprinted towards Senne Lammens and wrapped him in a jubilant embrace. They knew, without their 23-year-old goalkeeper standing tall between the posts, those 3 precious points would never have been theirs. Yes, only his second Premier League start, his very first taste of the biggest fixture in English football. Yet the young Belgian produced a masterclass. 5 saves, 35 of 40 passes completed, 14 recoveries, and a man-of-the-match rating of 8.6, the highest of any United player. Watching him command the box, United fans couldn't help but lose their minds with joy. Lammens' heroic display didn't just help the Red Devils escape the reigning champions' fortress with all 3 points. It sent a message of hope. Manchester United may have finally found their new number 1. It was also the vindication of an £18 million gamble, a gamble that many now believe could go down as one of United's smartest signings in a decade. This summer, United stood at a crossroads. After Andre Onana's form collapsed and he left on loan, the club explored several big-name targets: Gianluigi Donnarumma, Emiliano Martinez, and others. Yet, in a dramatic twist on deadline day, they turned away from the stars and placed their faith, and £18 million, in a relatively unproven 23-year-old from Belgium. Eyebrows were raised everywhere, but all it took was 90 minutes to silence the skeptics. Lammens kept a clean sheet on his debut in a 2-0 win over Sunderland, and whispers comparing him to the great Peter Schmeichel began to surface. Still, Anfield was always going to be the real test. As Gary Neville once said, the goalkeeper's position at Manchester United is the most scrutinized in the Premier League. And Lammens didn't just pass that test, he topped the class. It was a brutal examination. Liverpool, despite being on a 3-game losing streak under Arne Slot, remain the defending Premier League champions, and they threw everything forward in search of a goal. United struck first, through Brian Mbeumo in the opening minute, but from that moment on, the waves of red pressure came crashing relentlessly. For the full 90 minutes against Liverpool, Senne Lammens was the embodiment of calm, something Old Trafford has been yearning for. He finished the game with 5 saves, 4 of them from shots inside the box. But it wasn't just about the saves. He owned his area, claiming 2 aerial balls cleanly and punching another away with authority. In the 34th minute, Lammens produced a brilliant dive to deny Alexander Isak in a 1-on-1 situation with the Swedish striker. Then came the moment of the match, the 64th minute at Anfield. A curling cross ripped through United's defensive line, taking every red shirt out of the equation and finding Mohamed Salah unmarked at the far post. The home fans gasped, already rising to celebrate the inevitable equalizer. But there he was, Senne Lammens. No panic, no rash charge, just calm. The Belgian spread himself wide, covering the near post, his stance full of confidence and control. That composure, that quiet defiance, froze Salah for a split second, just enough for the Egyptian to sky his shot over the bar. It was one of those defining moments, the kind that transforms a promising keeper into a potential hero. Lammens' brilliance not only secured United a priceless victory at the home of the defending champions, but also reaffirmed what many had started to believe. Manchester United have found their new guardian. Even when Cody Gakpo equalized in the 78th minute, Lammens didn't waver. His focus and poise radiated through the backline, keeping United steady until Harry Maguire rose to head home the golden winner. The numbers tell the story. Liverpool generated an expected goals tally of 2.25, yet they found the net just once, thanks to Lammens' excellence. He single-handedly prevented at least one clear-cut goal that, on another day, would have been unstoppable. Moments after the final whistle, X, formerly Twitter, erupted. Nostalgia swept through the fan base as one post read, "Lammens is our new David De Gea." Another added, "Finally, a worthy successor to De Gea." But the praise didn't stop there. Supporters spoke from the heart. Lammens is the definition of security. Tall, commanding, and composed. You just feel safe when he's in goal. Another fan wrote, "Senne Lammens, thank you for changing our lives." And one emotional tribute summed it up perfectly. Lammens is pure class. Manchester United fans aren't just seeing a good goalkeeper. They're seeing the man who could own the #1 shirt for the next decade. After the match, Ruben Amarim couldn't hide his satisfaction. The Portuguese manager admitted that his team had a bit of luck. Liverpool hit the woodwork more than once, but he made sure to single out one man. He was really important. Overall, he had an excellent game coming from Amarim. Those 3 words, really important, after just Lammens' second start, spoke volumes. The battle for the #1 spot with Altay Bayındır now seems all but over. 2 wins in 2 starts, and Lammens has justified every ounce of faith placed in him. At just 23, he looks set to become the dependable presence United have been searching for season after season. So, what makes Senne Lammens so exceptional at such a young age? Talent, yes, but above all, it's his obsessive professionalism. Lammens doesn't just train at Carrington, he lives there. According to club insiders, since his arrival in the summer, he's been at the training ground every single day, even on rest days, determined to settle in quickly and maximize his potential. Before every match, he follows a ritual that borders on meticulous obsession. Hours spent jotting notes, studying video clips, and analyzing every striker he might face. He wants to know their every habit, every tell, every flicker of body language before a shot. But perhaps the most astonishing thing about him is his relentless hunger to improve. The Daily Mail reported that Lammens personally asked for Carrington to be opened on days off so he could get in extra training sessions. That discipline isn't new. Back at Royal Antwerp, club staff recalled seeing him in the gym at 1 a.m., still working out, even after a full 90 minutes earlier that night. That kind of devotion is a breath of fresh air at Old Trafford, a club that, for years, has been weighed down by questions about player attitudes and commitment. Lammens represents something different, the kind of professionalism United's hierarchy has been desperate to restore. Shining in your first 2 games is one thing, but the true measure of a Manchester United goalkeeper comes later, when the first mistake inevitably arrives. Because it will arrive. Every keeper makes them. What defines greatness is not the error itself, but the response that follows. Fortunately, Senne Lammens already seems mentally built for what's ahead. His former coach, Rick DeMille, recalled the transformation. When he was on the bench behind Mignolet, he sometimes doubted himself. That's normal for a young keeper. He used to pile pressure on himself after mistakes. But that's no longer the case. Over the years, he's learned how to deal with pressure. Now, when he makes an error, he simply moves on. He's matured enormously. That mental growth, combined with talent and work ethic, also impressed another of his former mentors at Club Brugge, Heike Milcon. "I wasn't surprised when United came knocking," Milcon said. "Senne has the potential to be Manchester United's #1, and Belgium's too. He's got everything it takes to be one of the best, a bold prediction, considering Thibaut Courtois still guards Belgium's goal. But Milcon stood firm. He has the skill set, mindset, and personality to reach that level. From tactical analysts at EPL Index to the roaring Stretford end, the consensus is clear. Lammens is exactly the kind of signing United fans have long craved. Not a fading superstar, but a player hungry to grow with the club. United don't need him to be world-class tomorrow. They just need someone who cares, fights, and improves, the kind of player who shows up to train at 1 a.m. That victory at Anfield wasn't just 3 points. It felt like the beginning of a new era between the posts. Amarim earned his second straight win, Maguire and Mbeumo grabbed the headlines, but it was Lammens who secured the triumph. £18 million for a goalkeeper who could one day be the best in the world, and United's #1 for the next decade. That's not just a good deal. That might just be the signing of the decade. Every penny worth it, and the cornerstone of a new Manchester United renaissance.